Thank you. I am Dr. Boyd, often known as Notorious Ph.D, amongst other things. When you think about culture, I'm often reminded of a very popular phrase that's been popular in hip-hop culture for quite some time, and that is very simply, for the culture, right? I do it for the culture, right? Interesting to think about. As someone who works in the culture, I often encounter people who think about culture. And when I talk about culture, I'm talking about movies and music and art, popular culture, sports, broad range of things. I often encounter people who think of culture as only something that they do in their leisure time, something for entertainment. And culture can most certainly be leisurely activity and quite entertaining. But I often think about culture in ways similar to how we think about the food that we consume, right? We consume food and we also consume culture, right? You eat, but you also, when engaging culture, think. We have a lot of conversation in our society about healthy eating, perhaps not as many conversations in our society about the culture we consume. But it works in ways quite similar. In other words, if you have a diet that's composed of nothing but fast food, there might be some health complications at some point to contend with. But imagine if you thought about what you put in your mind the same way. If you thought about how in the culture you consume mentally, what impact it has on your overall being. At an earlier, I should say at a later point in my life, there was a group, hip-hop group known as the Wu-Tang Clan, right? Wu-Tang Clan merged black street culture with Asian martial arts culture, right? Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, right? My point to you is this. These are all cultural examples. I saw a Bernardo Bertolucci film called The Last Emperor. Similar experience. I went to Beijing and I'm standing in the Forbidden City and I'm remembering the inspiration I received from watching movies. The movie's a seed, it's a start. It's not the entirety of the journey, it's a start. And of course, if you treat seeds properly, they can grow into something very beneficial. I think about culture that way. It's like a seed. It offers us the opportunity to get out of our own environment and momentarily, the music we listen to, the movies we watch, etc., perhaps imagine how someone else might experience life. That is, of course, relevant if the culture one is watching is properly presented, if it's represented properly, if it's not a bunch of stereotypes, but instead something uplifting and meaningful and substantive and profound. Culture is a start. It gives all of us the opportunity to connect across boundaries if we fully take advantage of it. And so with that, I would say, as I was asked, when we talk about culture, when you think about for the culture, its meaning for us, culture is an opportunity for us to engage and has always been an opportunity for us to engage diversity, equity, inclusion. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's one part of a larger process, but it is a start. We all enjoy our own culture. We should continue to enjoy it. We should also recognize the opportunity it provides for us to make connections across these lines. Thank you very much.